Black people, black people, black people. Do you know who is watching you more than anybody else on this planet? Do you know who is banking on the economic collapse and worldwide moral deprivation more than anybody else? Who's waiting? The people that are waiting for the light to get cut out? It is the Ku Klux Klan. Now, I know a lot of you tough guys that say, well, I'm going to be ready. I got this, and I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. You don't know what you're going to do. You see, the thing is, what I want you to understand is that there is a group in every state of this country, whether you want to realize it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, that cannot wait until they cut the lights out, until the economic collapse comes, until the military is flooding the streets. They can't wait to come after little Terry, little Charles, little Bobby, little Brandon, Keisha, Kafefe, Tanya. They can't wait to come after your grandma. They can't wait to come after your children. Why? It's because you know a lot of people in America, right? They always say that this is they don't exist, which is cap. They always say that that was the past, which is cap. And they always say that certain topics don't need to be talked about. But my warning to black America is you had better be paying attention. I'm not telling you to be worried, because I'm not worried about it. But I am paying attention, because the more and more the streets are being flooded with our blood by our own hands and by the hands of everybody else, guess what? They are banking on the fact that a lot of black people who are in the loop, right, who are in the matrix, they can't wait to catch you off guard. They can't wait to pop out the cuts in the F-150s with that Confederate flag and those white sheets, because you're going to see it. A lot of y'all don't think that it's prevalent to you today. It is much more prevalent than it was back then. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of Ku Klux Klan members are in Tennessee, they're in Missouri, they're in Texas, they're in Virginia, they're in New York, they're in every state that you can imagine. Now, one thing about them is they camouflage very well. And so you got to understand, right? It's not that people in this country like you. It's the fact that they've come to terms and accepted the fact that they have to tolerate you. Tolerating somebody and liking somebody are two different things, right? When someone likes you, they do right by you, right? They respect you. But when someone tolerates you, that's more so of a camouflage to say, hey, I'm going to have a certain demeanor towards them, but my inward plans are to do you harm. And I tell people this all the time, right? Especially brothers and sisters who walk around with the head in the sand, is that you spend so much time hating somebody else from another block. You hate somebody from that's wearing a different chain or this, that, and the other. You don't even realize is that you're helping them destroy yourself. So that way, when the real battle comes, guess what? It ain't gonna be that many men left to protect the women and children. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be any togetherness. And I tell people, you got to be out of your damn mind just because of certain churches, and you ask them about the Ku Klux Klan, they say, well, you know, that's not a part of the gospel. The gospel is a part of the gospel. Why? Because Ephesians chapter 5, verse 10 through 12 says, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. So that's what I'm doing today. You got to be out of your mind if you don't think that particular group that is all across this country, white nationalists, right, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, right, the skinheads, you got to understand, right, these people every day are practicing in countries, in places. When I say countries, I'm talking about the back parts of these countries like Kentucky, Tennessee, so on and so forth, Georgia, the Chitlin Circuit. They're practicing their shooting skills, they're practicing their fighting skills.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH BaHashem, YAHAWASHI BaHashem, Rakwah Qudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as the speckled bird. They may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharala. This is Brother Kawakub coming at you with no lesson. Today's lesson, I want to go into this. I just felt I had seen this, and I just made this realization. Like, yeah, like that is some real stuff, and it's primarily this caption that says the KKK can't wait. I don't know if I can even say that, but they can't wait for the power to go out. And I'm over here thinking like, okay, yeah, this is something that even we say, or I'll say me, I say through the prophecy that, yeah, I can't wait for all this stuff to happen. And even this brother even said, but I don't know if he really knows about the Bible and all that stuff. I think it's more so he just said he's not worried about that, which, that's only a good mindset to have if you are a follower of Yahawadah. So I don't know why he's not afraid, not why he's not scared. Kudos to him, I guess. But my main thing is that the reason why, what I'm trying to get at is, for us Israelites, we should be afraid simply because let's get this here first. So 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 17, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh? So this is the first thing, the expectation that, okay, so we have the expectation that Yahawadah is going to send judgment on us first, and then after we have to deal with our judgment, then it's going to be the wicked. But that does not disqualify and just fully absolve us from having to deal with, up and coming judgment if it is our lot. All right, so the real thing comes into being, when all hell breaks loose, when Jacob's trouble comes. Are you going to be taken care of? Am I going to be taken care of? Are we going to be taken care of? Did we get right with Yahawadah, or is Yahawadah going to put that judgment, that hot judgment on our asses and stuff like that? So it makes us, it should put fear into our hearts to make us think twice and make us say to ourselves, okay, am I doing everything? Am I going about the right way that is pleasing to Yahawadah, or is the Lord mad at me, or is the Lord going to send judgment or whatever to punish me or whatever and stuff like that? That's basically what we have to make sure that we are in the right mindset. Jeremiah 30 verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it, is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And this is the thing here, again, where we're talking about how Jacob's trouble, the hardships that's coming, only the elect is going to be saved out of it, but it's going to be something that's so utterly terrible. It's going to be so hard and harsh and stuff like that. But again, going back into it, like, you don't have to worry about it being so bad if you are, a righteous follower of Yahawadah. Did you do your part to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to make sure that the Lord isn't mad at me, or I'm going to make sure that whenever it happens, I don't need to worry about any sort of judgment. All right, so let's actually get that over here in Isaiah 65 verse 13. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So all the hardships that's going to be happening, it's going to come on down, we don't need to worry about it, because again, the elect, more specifically Yahawadah, part of that number, is going to be taken care of. The Lord's just going to say, you're exempt from it because you didn't do anything up to this. You repented. You did all this X, Y, and Z, or whatever. Now some of us might have to die as martyrs, of course, but well, maybe not, of course, but yes. But the main thing is, are you kind of like, I don't know, I want to watch my wording, but are you attempting to, kind of pay off that debt early, if you will, or not accrue any additional debt, so that, all the hardships that you're going through now will, serve that, and then that will be the end of it, rather than having anything additional be an issue for you. All right. Hence, what we have to look out for. Okay, not adding on to the debt of our sins and more. Okay, so continuing on, Matthew chapter 24 verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And the thing here is that Esau, well, number one, yeah, you got people that are friends, like, hey, John, hey, Billy, hey, whatever. All right, when people are neighbors and they act friendly to one another now, but the thing about Esau is he's waiting for that. He's waiting for all hell to break loose, so that he has an excuse. It's kind of like The Purge. If you've ever seen the Purge movies, what happened was, I think it was the first Purge movie, not the first ever Purge movie. No, I'm talking about the first ever Purge movie, not the first movie that was released. Okay, not the first Purge, the movie. All right, but the first Purge movie that was released. What happened was, there was that rich family, and they had all those defenses and stuff like that. But the issue is that at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, if you go watch it if you want, or pause this video or whatever, but spoiler alert, at the end of the first movie, basically what happened was that after the defenses of the house was broken down and all the other, purgers were killed, after all the other purgers were killed, the neighbors had came over to visit them or whatever, and said, we hate you. Like, you guys are these self-righteous pieces of trash. Like, we pretend to like you, we pretend to be friends and stuff like that, but in actuality, we want you dead and whatever. And then they literally tried to kill that rich family and stuff like that. So they pretend to be nice on the surface, but in actuality, they're fake. They can't wait. They're looking for an opportunity to slime you out, to backdoor you or whatever. And then, what happens is that this is what they're waiting for, the Jacob's trouble, the all hell breaks loose, all this stuff to happen, which that's the thing that, we kind of should already be in the know of. And the funny thing about that is that's kind of what happened with Nolan Wells, where rather than them waiting, they just took it upon themselves that let's do this, let's try to get away with it. And they attempted to get away with it, but they didn't, clearly, apparently, maybe, I don't know the full verdict on it, but what happened was that, the stuff that the thing happened, it was a big deal, all right, to say the least. So as a result of that, like, that is what is going on. That's what we kind of have to avoid and look out for. All right. 2 Ezra chapter 15 verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So the thing here is that there is, invading one another, wanting to kill one another and stuff like that. And we see that in Esau's actions in the Purge movies, where, oh yeah, we need to, the Purge is really good, it needs to happen, we need this and stuff like that. And that was a whole plot point for some of the later Purge movies. I think the second, third, or something, I don't remember which one it was, but they were talking about that, where the thing about the Purge was that they thought that only the rich enjoyed it and the poor suffered as a result of it. All right, because what happened was that there was this one, I think it was a second movie, don't quote me on that, but it was a second movie where it was this poor family, this poor Hispanic woman and her daughter, and they were living in an apartment, I think. And then what happened was they had a lock on their door for the purge, but like just some random individual dude, he just literally broke it down in a matter of seconds, that basically proving how ineffective poor people's locks are in regards to, you know, when it comes to the purge stuff. So literally anyone, it was basically like having normal locks or no locks on your door as soon as if you were poor and a part of the purge. So like that was basically what was going on. It was very, I don't know, I guess sad, not really, but you know, that's the stuff that was going on. Esau wants to have moments like these so he can go into his natural state of just being some evil ass, wicked ass demon that just goes around killing, because that's all Esau does, and that's all he is. As a matter of fact, let's get that to prove it. John 8 verse 44, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And this is the main thing: he was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth. Esau is that horrible, evil, wicked ass murderer. Okay, all he wants to do is kill, and that's what we're seeing. Okay, and even this guy said, even this Jake said it, where it was like, or what I assume is a Drake. He was basically talking about how, you know, yeah, like this is what these Edomites are waiting for. They're looking for when all hell breaks loose, so they can go, because they've been training. All right, they've been trained. They have those military accuracy, and I forgot what movie it was, but there was another movie, I fucking forgot, where it was about, you know, no, not Leave the World Behind. Another movie, something else, where, you know, people, is it Leave the World Behind? No, it's not. That's not it. It's something else, where again, you know, they were talking about military precision, military practice and all that stuff, rather than just randomly going and doing whatever, because they basically, people had that false sense of security that if you have a gun, then you're able to protect yourself, defend yourself, or whatever. When in actuality, you know, they might be able to, someone with a gun, a random untrained person with a gun might be able to hit someone sometimes, but not all the time. And it's not reliable to rely on someone that does not have military, not necessarily military, but also actual like practice or understanding, comprehension in terms of like how to handle and navigate the field and stuff like that. So that was basically what made it so that you're not safe. You're basically not safe. So the next thing here is Matthew chapter 24 verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And part of this is that this is biblical prophecy that we're waiting for. This is biblical prophecy that we know is happening. That one of the things that has to happen is that it's going to be another fight between Jacob and Esau, Jacob and Ammon and Esau, all that stuff. Okay, all the nations, kingdoms, or whatever, they're going to be fighting against each other. All right. Romans 3 verse 31, and the perfect way to end it. Romans 8 verse 31, I meant to say Slakia. What shall we say then? What shall we then say? Romans 8:31. What shall we then say to these things? If Yahweh be for us, who can be against us? And this is the thing here where me personally, I'm not really worried about all that, all those Edomites preparing. I'm not gonna say no. I will say why. All right, because Yahawadah got my back, and that's all I really need. I don't need the military position. Do I have it? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, and that is something that we definitely should not be. Definitely should not be sharing. All right, because if you have, you know, any sort of training, you really do not need to go sharing that to anyone. But yet you have fucking, what's his name, ISUPK, I think. They're the ones that's going around offering their training exercises and stuff like that to whomever wants to see it. It's just like, why are you showing your discipline to the enemy? All right, you're showing your cards. It's like playing poker and then just saying, hey guys, look at this, look at what I'm dealing with, you can take advantage of. Like, that's how stupid it is. Like, you should just, keep that to yourself. And even then, the strongest people oftentimes are the ones that hide their capabilities. Okay, so again, it just goes back into like, why would you just do that? It's just so strange. Anyway, with that, praise lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Shem, YAHAWASHI, Shem, Rakwakwadosh, double honor to the elders and apostles, great most, son of all, Shalom.